Welcome back, everyone. This is Super Kelly Brothers Podcast, episode 136 for August the 22nd. My name's Slim Kelly.
My name's Jody Kelly.
And how are you doing this week?
Fine. How are you?
Good. I'm good. We have a very short show. Very little news happening this week. Oh, there's quite a lot of news, but nothing entertainment-wise.
Not for us, anyway.
Quite a lot of news.
I always think to myself, though, because we pick and choose the stories we like.
Yes.
There's lots of news out there, but
there's
the ones that we choose to share with you guys.
Well, we talk about it, share, yeah. I mean, you guys probably know the story. It's just we have opinions. We want to talk about them,
Yeah.
And if you have opinions, you can always comment below.
Yeah.
If you want to comment below, in the old YouTube. Don't forget to smash the like button as well. Share with friends. Get the conversation started. So you were saying, I interrupted there for a blatant advert for the like and smash,
which is great. No, I was just saying, the stories we pick and choose.
Curate.
Wow, this makes it sound much more intelligenter than it is.
Doesn't it? As opposed to what we actually do, which is a mad scramble 5 minutes before we go on air. Anyway.
Yes, I used the word intelligenter. So write in. Is that a word? No, it's not.
Type in.
Maybe a clue. It's not a word. Yeah. So things have been kind of slow, I suppose, this week. Although I was looking at. I'm kind of debating about the old Xbox, PS5 next gen, what to go for.
Yeah.
This Christmas, right?
If you can get one.
Well, I think I spoke about this last week, and there is a list at Game. So if you put yourself on the list, you'll eventually will get one this year.
Right.
And it's the whole Xbox Game Pass versus PlayStation exclusives, type thing.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of exclusive games out right now.
For the PlayStation.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to make you go, whoa, right, that's a must-have for the PlayStation 5 yet,
Do you think it's maybe because they have to do stuff for the PlayStation 4 just now because nobody can buy a PlayStation 5?
Yeah, maybe. But like I've said before, the Game Pass is quite attractive. But I was looking at the games that are coming up for PS5, and it's starting to look a little bit attractive.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's a few games that Samurai game looks really good. It's a kind of director's cut now in the PS5, which looks really good. There's a sort of a Pixar-esque Zelda game coming out as well. Wish I could remember the name of these things, but there's a few kind of nice things coming out, and I'm like,
Look it up.
And I think when you buy the PS5, they've got.
Is it called Kenna Bridge of Spirits?
Could be. I think it is. Yeah, I think you're right.
Oh.
Yep.
Let me just mute that.
And when you buy a PS5, I think you get the biggest games of the PS4 free as well. Yes, this is it.
Is it this? Oh, this looks adorable.
Yeah. Yes. Mm.
Oh, this looks really nice.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's like Pixar.
Is this actual
label?
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. I think these are cutscenes, right enough. However, or I'm not sure.
Oh, energy bow.
To me, it looks like a kind of Zelda-esque.
Yeah.
Nice looking game. And I think the samurai game is called the Ghosts of Tsushima or something.
Oh yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
That looks like a cracking game as well.
Yeah. This is this one here. I'll just.
And I know it's out for the PS4. Oh, it's a beautiful looking.
Yes, this looks amazing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's autumnal trees. They're floating in the breeze. I'm describing because people have audio for this.
Yeah. Tashima, Ghost of Tashima.
And so throwing people in a funeral pyre. Oh, that's nice. Well, that looks really good as well.
That's beautiful.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm kind of weighing up. Danny's a Sony fanboy because I am.
Mm-hmm.
But Xbox Game Pass is looking good, but I'm starting to edge toward PS5. I think we're starting to kind of come together. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the old pointing at the sword thing for him.
Or should I get both?
Oh, that's a bit of a Breath of the Wild shot there as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
That's nice. That's really nice as well. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Cinematic.
Cinematic indeed, yeah.
Anyway, that's my horrible,
Dilemma.
Horrible dilemma. What a horrible dilemma to have.
Hashtag first world problems, right enough.
How terrible does that sound? Sorry. I'm apologise. Sorry, everyone.
Well, I'm going to get the Steam Deck, so that's my next console. 2 handheld consoles.
Yeah, man, that looks good. I can't afford that. That yet, but
I mean, it's not coming out till next year, so it's next year's problem rather than this year's problem. So, and quite frankly, I'm just putting it down to the fact that it's going to be my birthday and it's going to be a big one, and that's what I'm going with. So,
yeah.
Anyway, shall we do the news?
Yeah.
Good news, everyone. He's back. He's back again. Shady's back, but not really Shady. It is, of course, Trevor Slattery, who was the Mandarin. He was the Mandarin, wasn't he? That's what he was.
Sorry, I thought you meant Tony Slattery from the.
No.
Is it anyway?
No, not Tony Slattery. Trevor Slattery, played by Ben Kingsley, or should I say Sir Ben Kingsley? Do apologise, Sir Ben Kingsley, Knight of the Realm and all that kind of stuff. He is in Shang-Chi, and I don't know if he's playing the Mandarin. I think the Mandarin is supposed to be his dad, like Shang-Chi's dad. But he was a sort of dopey figurehead guy that they got in to play him in Iron Man 3 as the sort of fake baddie.
Yeah, wait a minute then. In Iron Man 3,
yep.
It was he was an actor. He wasn't actually the Mandarin, though.
Correct, yes.
And kind of did a wee switcheroo thing.
It's going to be the same thing as well. It's just Trevor Slattery. It's just that they're bringing him back for Shang-Chi. Because apparently he was at the world premiere. Of course, the star appearing at a world premiere doesn't guarantee they're in the movie. It might have just been in town. It could have been a piece of misdirection from Marvel. So
it's not the Mandarin then, it's the actor that Ben Kingsley plays.
Yes, it's Trevor Slattery, is back.
Yeah, okay.
So he says, as you just saw, I was talking. You all right there? Take a drink. You want to take a drink of water? As you saw, I was talking to Kevin Feige, and thanks to Kevin, Robert Downey Jr., and Drew Pearce and Shane Black, I am in this movie, and I'm a member of the Marvel family because their welcome in Iron Man 3 was so astonishing and generous that I'm still with Marvel again. I'm so delighted to be here, he explained. So there you go. Good old Ben Kingsley, who is quite frankly a national treasure, is back in the MCU again. So that's kind of nice.
I don't know how upset the comic book fans were about that, because
probably
Mandarin. Aye, for me, I don't have any history with it, so for me, it was a fun thing. I enjoyed it.
So. This is what I don't understand that people don't understand.
Oh.
So
Knuckle down, folks.
Is the comics are the MCU is using the comic books as source material for like storylines and things like that, but they're not. It's a separate universe. Like so, it could mean that the one character is just the name. Like for example, Sylvie is a Loki variant, but Sylvie in the comics is actually a separate character. She's not. She's nothing to do with Loki. I think she gets his essence or something. Like he dies, and then his spirit goes into her in one of the comic books or whatever it is. But they made her a separate character in the MCU. Like she's a completely different person to the one that appears in the comic books, and arguably a pretty good character in the MCU. So, and I don't know what she's like in the comic books, but not everything's the same. It's not like Star Wars where they make everything canon. Like, because it's like, oh, that's you should have read that comic book. It's like I'm not reading comic books.
Do you know what though? That went out. They said that when Kathleen Kennedy came in, that from now on, if it's an official Lucasfilm thing, it will be canon. But that's went out the window completely because they've messed up big time. As we know, and
no.
So things aren't quite matching up. Although I think they're trying to fix that now.
With the Bad Batch.
No. I think I'm just talking about the comic books, which I'm not 100% familiar with, but I know that things that were put in the comic books, then they were denying that it was going to be canon in the movies and stuff. And Mando stuff is canon, and and all those things in Bad Batch are all leaning to the same direction about the cloning thing, because Mando had the cloning facility in it.
Yes.
Obviously, Bad Batch is leaning toward that.
Got it.
They're clearly focusing on fixing that problem of Palpatine coming back.
Yeah.
Those two shows.
Yeah. But you not think though that these shows are in danger of retelling, like fixing it by properly fixing it, as in doing a better job of it than what they did, because the implication, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, but the implication is that Palpatine that is in Rise of Skywalker is Palpatine Prime, and the one that we saw all through the Clone Wars, and the one that ultimately met his demise was a clone of Palpatine. He wasn't the real one. He was just a fake.
So when all that build up, of him telling that story about Darth Plagueis and all that.
Yeah, the wise, yeah.
The wise, that he could cheat death and stuff. He was talking about himself.
But he was talking about Palpatine Prime. He wasn't talking about himself.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
As in, who is Palpatine Plagueis then? Is it a split personality?
I don't know.
Am I going too off the score here?
Maybe getting a bit meta, but yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, was that if that's the case, and again, that's fine if we're going to go that route, but it doesn't. Some things don't make a lot of sense then. Like, he's force sensitive.
I don't think that makes sense. What I'm talking about, because if he cheated death, right? Why do you need to clone yourself if you can?
But they said,
is it cheating death, or is it bringing people back from death?
I mean, I think it was cheat death, bringing people back from death was the same. Was implied to be the same thing. But I mean, if that's the case, that means that. Oh, I need to sneeze.
Oh,
hang on a sec.
Oh. See, if I was there, I would just poke you in the arm.
I know you would, or do that thing you put the finger under the nose.
Well, that always works. Yeah.
It does. Yeah. Starting to get the cold and flu season.
Crikey.
Well, it is. I mean, we're heading into autumn.
Yeah.
So Palpatine Prime is not the one that was thrown down the big kind of. That was just some other guy. But I also heard though that was him. Like that doesn't make any sense though. It makes sense for Palpatine,
and that's why he's so
to
disfigured.
Yeah, but he's not disfigured.
Fingers
He's just falling apart because he's decrepit. He's basically a walking corpse. Is what I would think he is because he's been living for thousands of years.
Yeah, but
and that makes sense.
But if you could clone yourself, why would you do the dirty work? You'd send your clone to do the dirty work.
Exactly, which is what I think he did do. So he's been sitting on Exegol, doing all these machinations, building these spaceships, like he's Dom Toretto of the galaxy.
I don't know why he does that.
Building hot rods with his torque wrench.
Yep.
Live out at a quarter of time, all that kind of stuff. Like, live out of a quarter of time, all that kind of stuff. Live life in a quarter of a time, Mile.
Can you imagine the what's that Chopper TV series? You know the
oh yeah, West Coast Customs or something.
You know the one that Ian McGregor went to.
Ah yeah,
with Charlie Berman.
Oh yeah, American Chopper.
Disney Plus should do a version of American Chopper, but it's Palpatine, you know, doing up his
spaceships,
Star Destroyers and all that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's no need to put a gimbal in there. Just put one on the planet. They can all relay on that one. But sir, it's a 35-cent part. I don't care. 35 times 1,000 is millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Just put one there, but put a good one in another one. Makes no sense.
Those cannons, what do you call those? Ventral cannons or whatever they're called. Stick another ventral cannon in there.
Be fine. Anyway, sitting with his torque wrench for thousands of years building this fleet up, which is why they all look a bit old.
The other thing is, right, I was going to say about the clone thing. He sent out clones, and one of them had sex to create.
But was that Palpatine?
Well,
no. But
Rey is the granddaughter of Palpatine, but it was like not Palpatine Prime, but one of them had jiggy with.
There was more than one. So why was Snoke so like weird and disfigured and stuff? Why wasn't he?
Do you know
why wasn't he just a Palpatine clone?
Do you know what would be a good one? The Loki version of Palpatine series of all the different.
Oh, the different Palpatines.
Palpatines. So you get obviously you've got evil Palpatine that was in Return of the Jedi, sexy Palpatine that was in that we've not seen yet that was having jiggy.
Yeah.
Crocodile. You've got
Palpatine.
obviously
maybe
zombie Palpatine.
Maybe that was the snake that was in the hole that they went into where they found the dagger.
No,
remember they went to Burning Man. Yeah, they went to Burning Man.
Sneaky.
Sneaky Palpatine.
Why is it Skywalker? Sneaky. No. I want to see sexy Palpatine.
Hold on a minute, I'll just take this thorn from the paw. You don't think this is a bit too biblical? No, it's fine.
I've got vibes of Snoke in his golden gown.
Snoke in a jar.
It's pretty sexy.
That was his Hugh Hefner period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was very much the way that Palps must have been.
Yeah.
When he was getting it on.
I can't wait for him to show up in the Knives Out sequel. Him and Jedi Boy.
Palpatine.
Broom Boy. Sorry, not Jedi Boy. Yeah, Palpatine,
yeah. Excuse me while I throw up.
Anyway.
That's better.
Talking of stormtroopers, Daniel Craig is James Bond, and he's in No Time to Die. Unfortunately, if you live in Australia, it's getting pushed back to November.
That's annoying.
Because COVID has flared up in Australia, and so they're pushing it back to It looks very 60s though. I'm just looking at that there.
I think I'm so excited for that movie.
See that there,
Yeah,
the grey suit
yeah.
with he's got the grey suit
Yep.
and he's got the
Yep.
handkerchief at the very
Yep.
square across the top there. That is
Tell you
what Sean Connery wore. That was his look.
For my money, Daniel Craig has been one of the best, I reckon.
Is he not the longest running Bond?
No.
I think he is. I think he is. I think so.
Roger Moore, is he not?
Who has played Bond the most?
George Lazenby was definitely the shortest Bond, not in height, but in length
okay.
of time.
Roger Moore and Sean Connery have been in 007 and 007 movies. Haha. Second place is a tie with both Pierce Brosnan and Daniel Craig have portrayed James Bond 4 times. But I think he's the longest to have played James Bond because when was his first one? Yeah, Daniel Craig 2005 to present, so that's 16 years he's played him. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, technically he played him in 83, but it wasn't an Eon production, so it doesn't really count. So he only played him from 62 to 71, so that's what, 11 years? No, 9 years. Timothy Dalton was 8 years. Pierce Brosnan was 10 years. So yeah, Daniel Craig, time span wise, has played Bond the longest.
That is a good pub question. I would not have thought that. Yeah. I would not have thought that was true. There you go.
There you go.
I would, for my money, I think he's been excellent. Really, really. And when he first got announced, I was like, really?
Yeah.
But for me, I think he looks the part, and also there's a definite believability there. That he's an assassin, and he's he can but it's also entertaining and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I love it. I'm really looking forward to this new one as well.
Yeah,
I think that's his last one, isn't it?
I think it is. Yeah.
They were supposed to announce a new James Bond role, about 2 years ago. In fact, it was after this movie came out. Once it was released, they were going to do that, weren't they?
Interesting, and also pub fact is James Bond was designed by Ian Fleming to be the quintessential Englishman. That was what he said, and they hired a Scottish guy to play him. And Ian Fleming's like, I don't know, man, this doesn't work for me. And then he saw Sean Connery on screen in Doctor No, and he said, James Bond has got Scottish ancestry. So there you go. So canon, official, boom. Ian Fleming, the man himself, said he's from Scotland.
Well, ever since then as well, obviously the movie with Daniel Craig in it would end up in
Scotland in the ancestral home.
And it ends up like Home Alone. Remember that one?
That's right. Yes.
Which is great.
I loved it. It was a good movie.
I loved it. And yeah. And he's Scottish.
Yeah.
Yay!
We did one thing right. Well, that in television, obviously. And penicillin. And the telephone.
Yep.
The internet. American National Park Service. American economy.
Fried chicken. Deep fried chicken.
Federal system that they have in America.
Deep fried chicken.
Deep fried chicken.
By Scottish people.
Yeah.
In America.
Copper wire. Invented by two Scotsmen fighting over a penny. Remember that time Dad dropped a 50 pence piece? Dropped a 50 pence piece, bent in it.
Yeah. What is this? 1986?
Paging Mr. Murray. Check Murray. Check Murray was great. Anyway, that's all. The only other story we've got is Scarlett Johansson woe continues. Disney has fired first shots and said, look, you knew the risks going into this.
Mm-mm.
What are you going to do about it? And so we've not heard anything back from Scarlett Johansson's lawyers. But I'm
Yeah.
assuming that they're not happy with the first salvo, which is basically we didn't say streaming wasn't on the table or off the table. I mean, we're in the middle of the pandemic. Things are difficult. So, yeah. So this is going to be rumbling on for a while. I mean, it's I don't know.
I think it's a shame it's so public. That's
I
all I would
know.
say. You know.
It feels like this could have been a. Do you remember what Disney used to do to you?
What?
Here's what would happen if you annoyed Disney. They basically forced you to make movies for them. And so they could do the same. Why not just do the same thing as well, but do it in a nice way, which is like I tell you what, we screwed up. It's our fault. Why don't we give you first refusal at the next 10, whatever it is, movies that we've got going? You can star in them, and you'll get money
Me?
off the back. No, not you, Scarlett. Someone talented, not me
Oh,
either.
right. Okay. Right. Okay. Because I
Scarlett
was going to say
Johansson.
I didn't like Last Jedi, and they never made me star in any films after it.
You could star in the sequel to her. Call it him.
Yeah. I could do the voice. Whisper sexily into
Joaquin Phoenix's head.
Joaquin Phoenix's ear.
I
don't know. That'd be a big twist, wouldn't it?
Would you like to go to the pub?
All right, big man. Fancy a fish supper. Go on, have another beer.
I know you're in Singapore, but I really could go for a sausage supper.
Big black pudding supper.
Bowl of ginger.
Extra brown sauce. You get the idea.
No salt. Anyway. Anyway, so poor Scarlett Johansson is now going to have to battle against Disney.
Still cannot buy that island. Damn it.
Still can't buy the island, yeah. I mean, on one hand, it's like, rich people take rich people to court, but on the other hand, I mean, she was promised
legitimate.
She was promised something.
Yeah.
And she didn't get it. And they're saying, well, you promised it to Marvel, but Marvel don't really have a say in things. It's really us. So anyway.
Yeah, and she's fantastic. You know what I mean? She's absolutely
she's a great actress,
Yeah.
She is a good actress. So good luck to both parties. I hope they work it out. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And that's it. Shall we move on to the next segment? So, the question I would ask you is, what are you watching? Isn't his earphones in? What are you watching?
Hi. No, I was just sending an email about what we were talking about earlier.
Oh, right, okay. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you
If
go
don't have a
first.
list. Okay. So we're continuing. So continuing from one of the stories we talked about earlier on about how Daniel Craig's looking very 60s there, and he's grey suit and white handkerchief. We watched The Living Daylights with this is our first Timothy Dalton one.
Mm-hmm.
Not the best Bond movie. It felt like it was on a budget.
Americanized.
No,
I thought.
no.
I remember.
I mean, there was a bit more kind of 80s type music, like John Barry. It was the last movie that he scored for James Bond as well, John Barry.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. And I can see why, because they probably went, "What is that?" There's a lot of fight scenes where the music isn't playing, and then all of a sudden it's like, "Oh God, we should probably put music in this," and like it starts to fade in. It's a weird thing. He's okay as James Bond. He's a bit brusque, I think, in some scenes. He doesn't. He gets the girl, but there's no shenanigans, shall we say? There's no shaggy nights. But of course, it was the 80s, and we had other things to worry about in the 80s. So there was less of that. It is a far better movie than Octopussy. Octopussy is the worst James Bond movie ever made, hands down. Hall of Fame for worst movie ever made.
I honestly can't
terrible.
remember it. I must have seen it, but I don't remember it.
Awful.
I used to have the program. Remember?
I remember. Yeah.
But back in the day, guys, when you went to the cinema, you used to get a program that had pictures from the movie and who was in it.
The one I remember is the picture of the twins wearing the black vests and the maroon. I don't know why, but I always remember that picture of them going.
I'll bet you did.
Looking like that. Holding their knives. Mm-hmm. I think they're actually back to back. But anyway, it's just an Octopussy. Terrible movie. Anyway, The Living Daylights, we started watching that last night. We're going to watch it on Friday, but time ran away from us on Friday. So we ended up watching it last night. Very enjoyable. We rented it for like $6 from Apple TV. We bought everything else.
Cheaper from Amazon Prime?
No, it was the same price.
Really? $6?
Yeah. I thought it was quite expensive for that movie. But anyway,
see, old films. Me and Evelyn were talking about this. And old films like that should be, why aren't Prime just buying these? Well, not buying them, but they're paying.
Well, I mean, technically they have. They bought MGM Studios.
So why should we be paying for those? Why are there certain films like Goonies, Forrest Gump, classic films that you're still having to rent and pay for? Or is that just am I expecting?
Well, because they're not out of copyright. Is
that what it is?
Yeah, it's not been 75 years.
No, but you've got your Indiana Jones is on Prime for nothing.
Is it? Yep. Yeah, but they've bought the rights to it because they need to get some movies in there to get you in to the ecosystem.
Surely likes a Goonies and snap up those ones. The classics.
Yeah, but how many people are going to watch Goonies versus Indiana Jones though? I mean, you and I like Goonies.
Yeah, but
that's two.
Goonies and Gremlins and things like that are staple diet.
You never see Gremlins
of a movie.
You never see the Gremlins. In fact, I don't. Oh, the other one as well is Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh.
Do you know why that will never be on a streaming service?
Why?
Because of all the music that is used in the program. It would be an absolute nightmare to license it across all these different regions. That's the reason why you could never get Malcolm in the Middle on streaming services. And maybe that's the reason why they can't do it for certain things. Like maybe Goonies is, maybe there's like a Ted Nugent song and he's like, "Give me $5 billion," and
maybe,
that's it.
maybe.
I don't know. Anyway, we watched The Living Daylights.
Sorry.
Highly enjoyable. It was, like I said, it wasn't the best James Bond movie, but it was good enough. We're actually going to pause. We're going to watch. That was the other thing as well. Did a bit of research after this. Timothy Dalton was first considered for James Bond when he was 21 in 1967. Sean Connery said he wasn't coming back. And they said, "What about this Timothy Dalton guy? I heard he's really good. He's a Shakespearean actor. He's going to be good." And he screen tested for it.
Too young.
And Broccoli said, "You're perfect. Let's go for it." And he's like, "I don't know. I feel too young for this." So he said, "Okay, then." So they got George Lazenby in to do on Her Majesty's Secret Service. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And then George Lazenby said, I'm one and done. I'm not doing any more. So Broccoli went back, "Whoop. Hey, Tim, how you doing, man?" And he's like, "No, man, I'm still too young." They offered him for your Diamonds Are Forever. And he's like, "Nah, I don't want to do it." Yeah. Then they offered him Live and Let Die. And he's like, "Nah." Then they offered him.
Seriously?
They basically offered him all the movies right up until A View to a Kill. And he was too busy to do A View to, because Roger Moore was getting too old. And he knew he was getting too old. And he didn't want to do Octopussy which he phoned in, which is part of the reason for it. He got a facelift between Octopussy and A View to a Kill, because he looks a lot better in A View to a Kill than he did in Octopussy. I mean, he's, all part of Roger Moore, but he looked like a melted willy in that one. But yeah, and so they got him in for Timothy. They got Timothy Dalton in for what do you call it? Living Daylights. They got him for License to Kill as well. They were going to do a third one with him, but it ended up going through. MGM was having some. Remember that time where MGM and Orion, I think it was, they were going through some really tricky financial stuff. It took them 5 years to resolve it. By that point, Timothy Dalton's like, "I'm far too old." He was like 50 at that point. He's like, "I'm far too old to play James Bond anymore. I'm out." So he would have quite happily done 3, 4, 5, possibly James Bond movies had he been given the chance.
My God, so he was too young then if it was too old?
Too young, too old. Yeah.
For God's sake.
They couldn't line up any time. But he was basically he was doing James Bond from 1967 all the way through. Crazy, huh?
Wow.
What could have been?
Wow. So he was getting offered the part of James Bond when Roger Moore was still playing James Bond, though.
Every movie Roger Moore signed
Roger
up for
Moore went out, or
couple of movies. Yeah, well, he was older than Sean Connery.
Was out of contract, and then it was just one.
It was like one after the other.
One more.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Okay.
And so they would always offer it to Timothy Dalton. That was the other thing as well. Timothy Dalton wasn't available for Octopussy and for A View to a Kill, so they offered it to Pierce Brosnan.
Right.
And Pierce Brosnan's like, I can't because of the Remington Steele thing. Yeah. So they're like, well, maybe you can work with it. So he's like, okay. And they went back to the producers of NBC's Remington Steele, and the producers said, we can work around the schedule. So whatever the schedule is for you, we'll shoot that. And Broccoli said, Remington Steele is not James Bond. James Bond is not Remington Steele. He's either Remington Steele or he's James Bond.
Yeah.
So that was it.
I thought, if you'd asked me that in a pub quiz, who was the longest serving James Bond, I would either have said Pierce Brosnan or Roger Moore.
Yeah, there you go.
I thought
by time.
Who's done the most movies though?
It's Sean Connery and Sean Connery's done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Never Say Never Again as well. Remember after.
He's done 7. So he's done Doctor No, From Russia with Love, Goldfinger, Thunderball, You Only Live Twice, Diamonds Are Forever, and Never Say Never. So that's 7.
Mm-hmm.
Your man Roger, he's done Live and Let Die, Man with the Golden Gun, Spy Who Loved Me, Moonraker, For Your Eyes Only, Octopussy, A View to a Kill. So he's done 7 as well. So the longest running people who have done James Bond have been in the most movies, Sean Connery and Roger Moore.
So still the two big guys. Okay.
Yeah, still the two big ones have played him the most.
Right, okay.
But as far as an actor who's been James Bond the longest, Daniel Craig.
Which is a good pub quiz question.
Because
that is one like, wait a minute.
Yeah, exactly. That's the one that starts the arguments.
He's been there the longest.
Mm-hmm.
He's not done the most movies.
Yeah. So we watched that.
Right, sorry, that was quite
Friday
a
night.
lot of James Bond there.
That was quite a lot of James Bond, yeah. Friday night, nobody wanted to watch a movie, so I went downstairs and watched Memoirs of a Murderer, the Nielsen tapes.
Well, me too.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was a bit. I thought there'd be.
Yeah.
It was his audio tapes.
Uh-huh.
Clearly, he had a romantic notion of himself. Which
completely.
He was just a nut job when he was on the tapes.
The you tell me type thing. Why I'm murdering folk.
Yeah.
What?
No, you tell us. You're not back.
I just wake up and they're dead. Aye.
Call them in talcum powder. Oh, perfectly normal behaviour.
Yeah. You tell me.
Cool.
At least it was a one-off. It wasn't like drawn out.
An hour and a half, and it was a good length. There's videotapes of his there's videotapes of his confessions though, like that I've seen before, which is kind of what I thought this was going to be about, but it wasn't.
I think that's kind of it's every angle, isn't it? From these kind of things now.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for this type of show, though.
I know.
And it's okay. It's not the best one. I mean, I think the in-depth one they did the 4-part thing. I think wasn't it about not that long ago?
I never saw that one. There was what's his name? David Tennant. He played Dennis Nielsen in the drama of it, which I've never seen.
Utterly fantastic.
I genuinely think David Tennant is one of the finest actors in Britain just now. He's so good.
Honestly, I can honestly say he was utterly fantastic in that show. Yeah. Dynamite. It's fantastic. Yeah. It's so good in it.
Yeah.
Because I was like that to Evelyn. I was like, God, he is absolute dynamite.
Yeah,
he's
really
fantastic.
Good. He's a great actor.
Great. Yeah.
He's great.
Absolutely brilliant.
Get him to play the next Bond. Nah, he's too skinny.
No, too skinny.
Yeah.
They're talking about I know we're a bit Bond heavy here, but I mean they're talking about Tom
Hardy.
No, oh God, they were talking about Tom Hardy. He's too thick. He's too broad. He's too big.
Yeah.
No, Tom
Holland.
Hiddleston.
I mean, yeah, I can sort of see it.
I can kind of see it, but not quite.
I don't know. I feel like he would be like 006.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I really heard that they were going in a different direction completely. They were going to keep the 007 code number, but it would be a female cast. So it would be
I don't like doing. That seems like a kind of trend just now. It's either going to be a female Bond, which I don't think it doesn't work.
But yeah, because they're going to retire the James Bond name and obviously should be called something else.
You've got to have a character that's misogynistic. You can't have a woman that's misogynistic.
No, but I mean, not even that.
It's just a different vibe.
It's not. But you go and see a Bond movie, you don't go and see a 007 movie. I mean, we've been talking about roll the tape back. We've been
Yeah.
talking about Bond movies. We've not been talking about 007.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
007 is just his license to kill number because he's part of the 00 branch, but it's James Bond you go and see.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Third movie we watched this week was at Sam's insistence. We weren't getting away from
this could go either way.
It really could when Sam's involved. Ready or Not, which is Samara Weaving and Brody. Can't remember his name. Alan Brody or something. Anyway, no, it wasn't Adrian. No, it's a young fella. Anyway, so Samara Weaving is she was in Sex Education, and she's Hugo Weaving's niece.
All right.
She looks a bit like Margot Robbie.
All right, okay. Not a bad thing.
It is a fantastic movie. It's really good. It's about this woman who's getting married into this rich family, and they're all a bit eccentric. And it turns out that when you marry into the family, you have to take part in family games night because they've made all their money from games. So it was originally board games, then it was games of chance, then they moved into American football and all that. So they own like a couple of teams and stuff like that. They're just basically rich douchebags. And so she pulls the card and it's called Hide and Seek. And they're like, better get ready to run. And she's like, okay.
Right. Yeah. I know this.
Yeah. And basically they start getting all tooled up. They'll get harpoons and guns and God knows what else. It's fantastic. It's really
is that Netflix or what?
It's a very black comedy.
Is that Netflix?
Really black.
Prime?
I want to say Prime. I think it was Prime I watched it on. Yeah.
Oh, really? Ready or Not? Right, okay.
Ready or Not, yeah.
Cool.
Superb. Really good.
Now
it was really funny.
I do recognise it.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the film The Hunt?
No.
That is a fantastic show.
Okay.
Movie. Really good, really funny. And it's quite kind of on point with culture at the moment and social things at the moment and stuff. Really good.
Okay.
Similar thing. It's one of the girls that's in Glow, the wrestling thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Betty Gilpin.
Yeah, her. Aye.
Yeah.
She's really good. That's a good show.
Ethan Suplee's in it as well.
Is that on a streaming thing just now, by any chance? I'd quite like to watch it again. I'm not sure if it is.
I don't know if it is. Let me look it up. Yeah, I'd actually watch Ready or Not again. Oh,
I saw it. Hunt. I saw
that. Forced into sick torture games in an abandoned military base. Is that the one?
Yeah, that's the one. Yep.
It is available for play on. Is it this one? JD Cohen? Let me just check. Hunt.
Yeah, that's the one. It was out last year, I think.
Yeah.
I saw it during lockdown.
No, it's a different one. There's two movies called The Hunt.
There is, yeah.
Well, okay, it's not that one then. Yeah, it's not that one. No, it's not that one. That's not on streaming. I watched it. So I like car restoration TV shows, and I don't know why I haven't watched. Actually, I know why I haven't watched this, because the thing I hate about car restoration shows is they always do that thing where they do that violin, that kind of, and then it cuts to the adverts, and it comes back, and they're still discussing the same thing, and you're like, just show me the bloody thing fixed. So it's called Rust Valley Restorers, and it's set in British Columbia. And it's about this guy, he's like 60 something, he's got dreadlocks, and he lives in a scrapyard. They do quite a lot of drone shots, and I swear to God, if you squint, it looks a bit like Making a Murderer, because it's just all these cars just lying in rows, rusting away.
Oh.
So anyway, it's called Rust Valley because that's where it's set. It's a great wee show. I've watched the 3 episodes of it so far this week. It doesn't have any of those things. It just gets on with the restoration stuff because it's Netflix. It's not. They don't have any adverts, so it's you're not coming my way and doing stuff like that. That was my kind of frothy thing. I haven't mentioned it up until now on the podcast, but I mentioned this on WhatsApp when we were chatting the other day there. McCartney 321, which is an exclusive to Hulu in North America, or it's on Star in it was Disney Plus in Canada, and it's Rick Rubin is the producer, the guy that sort of worked for Def Jam, I think. Him and Paul McCartney dissecting Beatles and Paul McCartney songs, and it is fantastic. It's just Paul McCartney talking about Beatles stuff. It's brilliant.
See this badly.
Yeah, it's really good. It's just the two of them. It's shot in black and white, and it's them at a console playing old Beatles songs and doing that thing that George Martin did, where they would like pull things down and listen to the drums here and
really,
it's fantastic.
I want to see even more now.
It's really good. It's like I think I messaged the group and said this is rekindled my love of music. It really it's like it's fantastic. It's really good. It's like I all I wanted to do after that is listen to Beatles albums. Because you can kind of do it on the Beatles albums as well, because it was 4 tracks. So they just mixed it. The stereo mix is basically left and right speakers, so you can like dial down the vocals by moving it to the left speaker. Or vice versa.
Like I was saying to you, though, his new album is phenomenal.
Yeah,
I know he's got an album out that people have done kind of versions of it, where he's it's kind of remix thing, but the actual album, Paul McCartney 3, it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It's dead inventive. I think it's fantastic. I love it. For a man of his age, you think he's done everything, been there and all that, but he's
as well.
Yeah, and he's influenced. He's influenced by Kanye West and things like that. But you can hear it, but it's still him.
Yeah.
But he's it's him in contemporary age. It's a brilliant album. Great.
I'll give you a fun fact from the Beatles thing and the McCartney thing, and there's tons of them in there. A Hard Day's Night. The guitar solo in it.
Sorry.
Recorded half speed and sped up.
Aye.
Because George Harrison was trying to play it, and he's like, I can't play that, and George Martin's like, I'll slow it down for you. So there's a whole
documentary.
Down half speed, you drop it an octave, you play it back up again. It sounds as if you're playing it live.
Do you know there's a whole documentary about the first chord in? Oh God. It's not Hard Day's Night.
It might be.
Is it Hard Day's Night?
That was George Martin's idea. Yeah. Bing.
Aye, because it's like
a hard day's night.
Because it's like a very odd chord, but it's got loads of other things in it, and it's just like a second or 2 seconds. That was
a
documentary about it.
So, according to Paul McCartney, George Martin said we need to have that because it's a movie, and you need something that you've arrived kind of thing.
Oh, really?
So I get the feeling that he was the 5th Beatle. Never mind Brian Epstein.
Well, he was.
He was the guy that was in there. He said we used to think he was an old guy, but I mean he was probably only 10 years older than us, which for us was ancient. But he was probably only 30. But yeah, he used to.
But they thought that about him as well.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is they listened to him a lot, and he wasn't like the stuffy shirt EMI producers that the other people were getting. He was into experimentation and doing like weird stuff. and recording equipment. So, yeah. He didn't like the other weird stuff the Beatles were doing and told them to go into the alleyway if they wanted to do that. But
drugs, kids, don't
drugs.
do it.
That's right. Unless you're in Canada, in which case it's legal.
Unless you're mega creative and the Beatles.
Yeah. That's the old wacky backy. And I also watched What If. That's the last thing I watched this week. What If.
Me too.
Did you watch it?
Which was a significantly better episode, I think, than the first one.
Yeah, I liked it as well. Yeah, that's T'Challa was Star Lord, man. It is Star Lord. It was really funny. It's like a huge fan.
I liked the fact it was a kind of who's who as well. I was like, there's such a
yeah.
I did enjoy the first one though, but I just thought the second one was just that much better. I love the style though. The style's fantastic.
Yeah, the style's amazing.
And I thought it was kind of quirky enough as well, stuff like that. I just
Benicio del Toro came back as the collector as well.
Yeah, looking very buffed up.
Yeah.
One of theirs in real life.
Yeah.
We've gone long. I've not even done mine yet.
I have, yeah. Over to you, though. Yes.
Yeah. I watched on Netflix a movie called Villains with your man from It, Pennywise.
Oh, yeah. Bill Skarsgård.
And we swore it was the girl was Dakota Fanning because she looked like a grown-up Dakota Fanning, but it wasn't. So it's these two, this couple that are kind of Bonnie and Clyde type characters, and it's quite a good movie because it's an hour and a half and it goes straight in. There's no messing about with who these people are or nothing. Straight in. These people are crooks. They've robbed a bank, a shop. They're a bit kind of half-wittish. They're pure in love. That's all within the first 2 or 3 minutes. So you know exactly who they are, and then you're in this house, and they're trying, because their car's broke down, they're trying to and they get embroiled in this, the house they've broken into. The couple are more mental than they are.
Oh,
so
okay.
So it's good, man. I enjoyed it. It's not great, but it's good.
It's coming soon to Netflix Canada.
Oh, so you don't have that one?
No.
And yet we do?
Yeah.
That's weird.
I know. Don't worry. I've got NordVPN. Not a sponsor, but...
That's weird.
I know. Things happen.
We watched a great TV series. It's probably an HBO where you are. The White Lotus. Yeah. It's all about this hotel in Hawaii, and it's these sort of family. It's different groups of people. It's a family. It's a honeymoon couple. It's a woman that's on her own with her mother's ashes. The hotel manager who's a kind of Basil Fawlty, but a nice Basil Fawlty, but he's got serious problems because he was an ex-drug addict. So he's like, things start to unfurl.
Okay.
We watched that. It's only 6 episodes. It was absolutely tremendous.
Okay. Is it kind of dark comedy kind of thing, or?
Aye, I would say so. Yeah. But it's very upbeat and stuff. It's not like dark. It's there's dark themes in it and stuff, and there's kind of themes of modern life and things like that, whereby the kind of narcissism and like life's matter and stuff like that, all kind of they're all kind of encapsulated in it. It's good, really, really good. Really enjoyed it. Friday night movie was Matrix Reloaded, which I'd never seen.
Okay.
So we watched that, which is an odd sequel actually.
Is that the third one?
That's no, the second one. I hope. Were both released the same year. Did you know that?
2 and 3.
2003. Uh-huh.
Wait. Okay.
According to Prime, anyway, we got it in Prime. I'm hoping we watched the right one, because they both say 2003, I think.
Yeah.
2013.
Matrix Reloaded, Revolution, and Untitled Matrix 4th movie.
Well, there's Reloaded and there's Revolution.
Reloaded is the sequel, and Revolutions is the sequel to the sequel. Yes. Yeah.
So we watched Reloaded.
They did indeed. Yeah.
So Reloaded. Have you seen these films? All these films?
I have. I really like The Matrix.
Reloaded is very Star Trek-y. We get big Star Trek vibes. Initially, when it first starts, and then it gradually goes back into a kind of Matrix movie. But initially, it's like they go in this kind of not planet, but effectively like they land in this place, and they're all kind of suited like Star Trek people, and there's like a kind of
it's one of the twins, isn't it? Where they're driving along.
Religious vibe. Yeah.
They're driving along. There's like a car chase, and then the twins kind of are throwing cars at
that's
them.
The one.
Yeah, okay.
That's the one. Yep.
That one. Yeah. The third one is, if you like Star Trek, the third one I thought was very Star Trek the Motion Picture-y at the end.
Okay.
It goes a bit.
Yeah. I mean, it was
deep
I know
sci-fi.
People have watched. Loads of people have watched it, and they're probably going, "Bloody hell, Jodie, have you never seen that bloody movie? Who are you? Do we know you? And I'm meaning probably you're probably saying that to me, but no,
I'm amazed you haven't seen the sequels to the Matrix.
Yeah, well, I'd never seen the Matrix up until last year, I think.
What?
Not fully, not the full thing. I remember you had it in DVD and stuff.
Who are you?
I don't know. I don't know why I never get into the vibe. But anyway, listen, we enjoyed we did enjoy the Matrix. So that was Danny's choice. Matrix Revolutions. Reloaded rather. It was okay.
Even Sam's seen the Matrix.
Yeah.
Because she likes the propeller heads.
Oh, the music's fantastic. Yeah.
The guns.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I watched Green Knight, which is a brand new movie.
Oh, aye. I've heard of it.
From the director that did Ghost, I think he did a few things. It's quite arty. It's quite kind of Excalibur-ish, kind of
John Boorman.
Yeah, that type of vibe.
Oh, is it? Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Big time.
Okay. Is it all Vaseline on the lens and all like?
Not quite, but it's that kind of mysterious, kind of Stanley Kubrick-ish kind of thing going on, which I'm totally seduced by. I love all that kind of stuff.
You do like a good Kubrick. Yeah.
Oh God, I love all that kind of mystery.
I
love watching a film. Right, and it's all visually amazing, right? And I don't quite understand what's going on, and there's hundreds of questions, and I walk out the cinema like that.
Have you seen Zardoz?
No? Yeah, of course. I've watched it.
Oh,
it puts me off though, his mankini thing that he's wearing.
His weird diaper, red diaper
thing like
that he's got on.
Yeah, I don't like it. No, that puts me off.
We do have the thing for Zardoz.
But Green Knight is
I'm a hunter.
Vibe. It's that vibe, and if you like that type of thing, which I do, it's great. If you don't like that type of thing, that kind of slow burn, probably not for you. But
yeah, probably. To be honest, I kind of like Zardoz in a weird way. It's a massive B movie. Like it's just this, and by massive B movie, I mean it is a B movie. It was shot way off on like a teeny little budget, but John Boorman is out there.
Was that a John Boorman film?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
To keep costs down, this is a true story. John Boorman put Sean Connery up at his Irish house
All right, okay.
and
Didn't know that.
charged him rent.
Oh my god. He's still alive, John
Still
Boorman.
going strong, John Boorman. Yep.
Aye,
Because Charlie goes to visit him every once in a while.
Well, that was
Before he goes on these crazy trips.
Mind you, I watched the ones that were kind of a bit older, so fair enough. But no,
That's good.
it's that
Okay.
vibe.
So Green
If
Knight.
you like that type of thing, which I think you might, it's brand new.
I have to be in a I can't watch. I'm not sitting there and I'm like, I could fair go watching Zardoz. But I have to be in a bit of a mood to watch these things.
But it's the.
What is that? Wait, Dev Patel's in it?
Yeah.
Oh, Alicia Vikander's in it.
I like him. I think he's really good.
Yeah, I like him as well.
You know, it's not a heavy dialogue thing. Have you ever watched Valhalla Rising?
No.
With the Norwegian actor Mads Mikkelsen.
I'll tell you something, talk about getting an agent. I don't know who Mads Mikkelsen the agent is, but my God, he's in everything, that guy.
I know. But did you ever seen that film?
No.
It's got a very similar vibe. There's not a lot of dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
It's mysterious, but not as mysterious as Valhalla. Well, yeah. But it's more. It's definitely got that vibe. Holy Grail. It's got that kind of vibe,
Right.
but without the laughs as well. I would say it's very authentic. Very authentic.
Spaceman in King Arthur's Court?
No, I wouldn't say that. No.
Okay.
I did like that film though at the time. Remember?
Yeah.
I used to like it.
Yeah.
But then I used to like astronauts, and I used to like knights,
so
ticked all my boxes.
No brainer.
And lastly, we went to the cinema.
Go what? Cinemas are open around here now. I don't know what changed,
that's
but
nice.
I haven't been yet.
Well, we went to see Free Guy in the old cinema.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, and we had a great time with that film.
That's good.
Although,
when
we went in, I was sat. Danny was sat in the middle.
Wait, you took Danny to see it?
Yeah. The 12A.
Oh, is it? It's an R in America.
Really?
Free Guy. Yeah.
Seriously?
I'm pretty sure it's an R. Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, so what happened was, right, he sat down and he fell straight on the ground. Yeah, and I was like, oh, bloody hell. He sat down without flipping it because we've not been in the cinema for a while. He's not flipped the seat down. The seat collapsed.
What?
The seat collapsed. Yep. So we're like, oh my God. First we're laughing. The next thing we're like, you're right. So it was okay, kind of thing. And so Evelyn's like, tell them manager type thing what's happened. So I told them. And so they had to move us up, a few seats. And then, I think Evelyn must have been thinking about it. But she was like, I'm not happy with this. Imagine it had been, her or me or an old person or whoever had sat there and it collapsed. Pretty injured.
Lawsuit, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what she said, So we ended up getting free tickets for our next movie, whatever that's going to be. But yeah, pretty weird.
Good show.
But anyway, it was a great movie. Some great fight scenes, and I can't really
Alex
spoil
Trebek's
anything,
in it.
Unfortunately. Is he a YouTuber?
Alex Trebek.
Who's Alex Trebek again?
I'll take ignorant podcasters for $100, Alex. Who's Alex Trebek? Okay.
Oh, no.
He's
Oh, no.
he recently died, but he was the host for Jeopardy for 1,000 years,
Sorry, right. I didn't know that, right? But
and
he
Canadian
is
National Treasure, and
right. Okay.
Ryan Reynolds' hero when he was growing up.
Yep. And it's dedicated to him at the end.
It is.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is why
Um,
Ryan Reynolds is laying into this whole Jeopardy thing. I don't know if you've seen that, but I don't know if you know what the thing about Jeopardy. So the guy that was, it's the same story as the Pope. Do you remember Ratsburger, the Pope, the last Pope, not the current Pope? He was the guy that was to find the next Pope, and he goes like, you know what? I'll be Pope, and so he became Pope. It's the same thing. So the executive producer of Jeopardy says, you know what? I'll host it. So he anointed himself the new host of Jeopardy.
Crikey.
Just before the tweets came out that he sent that were, well, I won't bother getting into them, but they were not pleasant tweets. And so he's now been fired as the host of Jeopardy. And so there's now a huge big thing about bring back LeVar Burton. Because who wouldn't want LeVar Burton to do Jeopardy?
Wow.
So there you
I'm
go.
really bursting for the toilet.
Unbelievable. Well, I guess we should end the podcast because we're at 1:14 anyway.
Yeah.
Let's do that really quickly. And then that abrupt ending.
And I mean really quickly.
Really quickly. So don't forget to hit the old subscribe button, notification bell. You get timely reminders of when we put up a new video. And smash that like button and share. And don't forget to give us 5 stars in the old iTunes as well if you're listening to us on audio. But thank you so much, everyone, for listening to us talk. I know we went long this week, but I felt like a good one. Felt like a good one this week. So is there anything other than please end the podcast? Is there anything else you want to say?
Please don't let me pee myself.
Okay. See you later, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.